We are live and in charge. Hello, everyone. It is Tuesday. Welcome to, is it Tuesday? No, is today Tuesday?
No, today's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, and it is a special night of In Bed with Comics. And tonight I'm going to be having a very intimate conversation with a very special comedian. As if I got to tell you, I am your host and fellow comedian, Kristen Tinsley, and the protest still goes on. Comedian lives count. Your shirt is being made as we speak, and it is on its way. Comedy clubs have still not been open. Governor Cuomo has still not heard us, so we will continue to protest, but we will do it peacefully by wearing comedian laughs count t-shirts and spreading the love on Instagram. I will be talking about that the entire week, so I'm not going to shut up about it until the comedy clubs are open and the comics are back on stage. But tonight, once upon a time, there was a humor consultant, business consultant, producer and comedian, and socialpreneur. She was born and blessed with the gift of humor in New York City. She's the owner and principal consultant of Monarch Productions, a consulting company that helps to build people Strength Finder 2.0 workshops for leaders. It specializes in business strategy, team building, time management, which we all need, diversity initiatives, and workplace culture for individuals and small businesses by using her humor as a comedian to connect to people. She is also a professional comedian, otherwise, why would she be here? She's the executive producer and host of the BFF Comedy Show, celebrating beauty, fabulous, and funny women in comedy. She's produced 15 successful comedy shows, of which the proceeds were dedicated to Philadelphia-based organizations assisting women with HIV and the homeless population living in Philadelphia. And she's also the host of 2 podcasts, the Black and White Cookie Show and the BFF Comedy Show podcast. So everybody please put your hands together for a very talented and very smart and very beautiful butterfly who I met, and I'm actually really, really like, Chaundra Daniels. Welcome.
Woo!
Welcome to In Bed with Comics.
Yes, thank you for having me, Kristen. You have such great energy. Thank you so much. The bio sounds like I should record you, just play it wherever I go, because you did that so enthusiastically. Thank you so much.
I loved it. I was reading it and I was going through it. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Jim. Hey, Teresa. What's up, girl? Teresa Fowl. She has tea time with Teresa. She's watching.
Hi, Teresa.
You would like her.
Hey, Jim.
I really wish that she was with me that night. You would love Teresa. She's a good person. She's a very good friend of mine. So that is quite an impressive, resume of things that you do that make up everything that you are. And you use comedy in a lot of the things that you do. Which I think that's more along the lines of a natural talent. But how did you get into comedy?
So, the truth, I was going through a divorce and was going to therapy. And I would go to see my therapist, actually out in Long Island. And I would always be running 5 minutes late, not for her, but just to get there, because I always wanted to be early. And when I got there, I was so animated because I wanted to catch her up on my stuff. And my therapist would laugh through my entire session. She would be cracking up.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wait. She's like, Chaundra, have you ever thought about doing comedy? And I said, no, I've been funny in school and people tell me I'm funny, conversations and stuff, but I never thought about it. And she was like, listen, she was like, I have to tell you this. She said, I always want to book you for 2 sessions because I always want to hear the end of your story. She was like, and I know you're here for therapy, so don't think I'm not going to help you, because she was helping me. She said, but I think you should try comedy as a form of therapy because you're great at it. And she said, You're a natural storyteller. And she says, because some of these stories are outrageous. And I said, they are. My life was just out of control. Right. But I think it was the way I was telling her. I was animated. I was just going through it. And you're going through a divorce is a breakup, right? So I'm telling my story, I'm telling his story, but I'm looking like the hero. He's looking like the victim. We're all looking crazy. Right. And I think it was close to my last session. She said, listen, I really think you have something, and I really think you should try to just go to, maybe a comedy school or something. Never heard of that, neither one of us. So I went home and Googled a comedy school. And I don't know if you remember Comics. They were downtown by the Meat District. They were a club. They gave comedy classes.
Yeah.
Right. That was like 10, 12 years ago. They gave comedy classes.
Mm-hmm.
So at her suggestion, I went, and I went to the class, and I think it was taught by one of the women who won Last Comic Standing, and this was when it first came out, and I forget the lady's name, forgive me, but she paired us up in writing partners, and I had this awesome writing partner. His name was Nate, and the graduation was coming out and doing your first set on stage. It was what was called a bringer show, right?
Yeah.
Now, I didn't have any friends to bring because I didn't want them to know that I was going to comedy school for therapy, and I didn't want to go up there. So I failed comedy school because I didn't bring anybody to my bringer show. But I went to support Nate and another gentleman I met, and was so overwhelmed with just like, wow, I could do that, but had such stage fright. Like, it was just like, I wrote good jokes. I cracked up in the class. I was able to do the exercises, but did not make it to graduation. So my introduction to comedy was failing comedy school. And then comics went out of business.
Wow.
So I couldn't even take the class again. And the class was $360. And I was like, I don't even have the money to do again, let alone go out here and do it. And my first show was a show I produced myself. Because I just wanted to do something. Yeah, I was like, I'm just going to do it. Yep. But what essentially happened was I went on a boat ride, and Talent, the comedian, and Kenny Williams, and a few other veteran comedians were doing a boat show. And Kenny was hilarious. I mean, he was hilarious.
He is.
And you're on a boat. Yeah, and you go on a boat with these guys. So you're in line with them to get food. And I said, could you be my comedy coach? And he was like, wait, what? I was like, no, I need help with the stage thing. Like, I can tell jokes, but I get stage fright. And he says, what do you do? I said, well, I'm a counselor, and I work in a university, and I could talk to my students. I could do workshops, but I can't do this stuff here. He said, let me get back to you. In 2 months, he started a comedy class, and it was just coaching. And he coached me for like, I want to say 6 months. Wow. And I did a 30-minute set my first time out, because he didn't even try, he just let me go. And it was in Brooklyn. It was in Bushwick, Brooklyn. So if you can't make people in Brooklyn laugh, you can't do it.
You better just get out now.
Yeah. And these were like straight, like, Wednesday night drinkers, smokers, everybody. And I just sat up there and told my story, and just kept going. And Kenny just let me go. And everybody clapped for me and everything. And I was like, I did it. Like, I felt like a little kid. I did it. And then the next show, I did. And the next show, I put that was like it. I was like, all right, I'm gonna do a show. And I couldn't find anybody to, do a show with. I didn't understand the business of comedy, because there's a second part of it, right? You learn comedy. And I just thought I could go to a bar and say, hey, can I do a show here? I didn't know about promoters. I didn't know territory, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So the place where I had the class with Kenny let me do my first show. And that was May 15, 2009. And it was the Cupcakes and Comedy Show. My girlfriend made cupcakes and I told comedy. And we sold her cupcakes. And we had about 50 people. And that was my first show. And I've been producing shows ever since. So that's the true story. That's like
how you got there. Oh, wait. Cupcakes is very different and very innocent from the peanut butter cup penises that me and my old partner Chris gave out at our very first show.
Peanut butter what? Penises?
Peanut butter penises, yeah. We made peanut butter penises and vaginas that we gave out at our first show. It was an all-female show called
Was it an erotic show?
No, but we just kind of like kept it as like a running, like kind of like, theme or whatever that we would give out. Because there was something called like Kisses for Coming that we would give people. So is what we would do is we would take like little bags of candy. We would attach all like the comics cards on there, so people could follow them on social media and like, get in touch with the sponsors that we had for our show. But that's definitely been like one of the things of like, Tin's Cup Comedy, but now it's Tinsley Comedy Productions. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much started the same way. I did get on a couple of shows that people, when you're new in comedy, they want you to do that bringer show. I didn't go to comedy college. I knew that they had it, but I was just kind of like, why? Like, all right, here is an opportunity to get on stage, do an open mic. And then after I realized the business and politics of comedy, I said, well, I'm just going to start producing my own show. So I teamed up with somebody that had been in it for a while and just said, you know what, if the opportunity's there, you could do it at Governor's. They have the little room. Anyone can book that room. You just got to put asses in the seat. And that's what I did. So
That's
it's been like
amazing.
that. Yeah.
That's
It's been like
amazing.
that.
It has definitely been a definitely great ride because I was in it. I just got into it because I found something that gave me joy, and I could work through the stuff I was going through. And you know, as you said earlier, my therapist, she's like, you're such a natural, but it's a different being a conversational comic,
Right.
and a stand-up comic, right? You could walk up in a room and light up a room, like how we met. Like we met that
Exactly.
night. I walked in. I mean, and what I mean, it was a show that we were waiting to happen, and we had our own show in the back, just
Oh,
laughing
yeah.
and you know,
Yeah.
conversating. But the discipline of stand-up, I was struggling with because you have to write. And I just stuff would pop into my head, and I felt like Eminem, like I was straight like freestyling, right? And it
Yeah.
was great, but I would have good material, but it would leave because I didn't write it down. So
Right.
I struggled for a long time with that, and would just come out and just watch comedians and just study how people just would do. I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. And realize there was no trick to it. It's just a discipline
A
of
discipline.
writing.
They
Right.
write every
But
day. Yeah.
in the meantime, I realized that I love producing. Like I love putting together events. And I realized that my comedy was something that I could use to help the community. And so from my very first show, I donated proceeds to something. So I never kept any money. It was always something where we gave back to, or I gave back to the community. And then I moved to Philly. I went to school there, fell in love with Philly. And after my divorce, I was like, I'm out. Let me go back to where my heart is, and started doing shows there. And it just took off. And my girlfriend has an art gallery. So I did comedy in an art gallery, which was so sexy and
Oh,
sophisticated. And
nice. I like that. I
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. And it's really classy. I'm gonna shout her out. Soft Illusions Art Gallery, fine art gallery in Manayunk, PA. And she gave me my first start with producing my shows. And then my next big show was at the African American Museum in Philadelphia. And that really was a very touching one because I raised money for Project Home, which was Philadelphia Homeless, and raised $2,000 for that. So that was like a big
Nice.
turning point.
Yeah.
And found out that I enjoy performing, but I enjoy giving comics a platform, and comics that necessarily
Don't
weren't
get a chance.
popular, right? Or people, you know,
Absolutely.
because this, yeah, because this industry, as any industry performance is cliquish. And I consider myself an outsider because I just, you know, I tell jokes and go home. I don't hang out. I don't drink with people. I don't, because I was just there for the entertainment. I wasn't there for but didn't realize that was part of it too. So as
Right.
I was going along, I was making mistakes and learning. Like you gotta
Right, yeah.
connect with people. You gotta meet people. You gotta do this
You have to
stuff.
go
And
out.
believe it
Yeah.
or not, I'm not shy, but I meet people and then I don't meet people, right? So it's kind
Yeah.
of like hello, goodbye. But it's definitely been a ride that I am thankful for. And now with the BFF Comedy Show, which has ended recently, I want to say last year, and the Black and White Cookie Show, which we're picking up in later September for the podcast. I met a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous comedian. Her name is Movita, and she and I have been rocking from the beginning. And I've known Movita
Movita.
for about,
Why does that
yeah,
name sound familiar to me?
because she's Movita and she knows everybody, and she's been a great partner. And she flew out to every single BFF Comedy Show last year from Denver every
Oh,
month.
wow.
And we raised money for a STEM program in Philadelphia called TechCore.
I like
And
I like
yeah, and it was good. I mean, it was such a beautiful experience. We were in Park Slope at a place called the Slope Lounge, very sexy, grown and sexy. I mean, sexy, sexy. The food was sexy. Like the food was sexy,
I love
Kristen.
all this. So, like, I never thought, like, comedy shows are usually like in like a bar somewhere where it's like, all right, French
No.
fries. No,
Mm-mm.
I would love to
Mm-mm.
have, like, I was planning on doing the Real Comedy Wives of Long
Right.
Island. And I wanted it to be like, like the Real Housewives type of show, like how they have their parties with like the tents and the dresses and just beautiful.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's how I envisioned it, and like raise money for something like that's definitely because I mean, yes, we do get paid when we do produce shows, but I don't keep the money. Like I keep a portion of it, But
Right.
I also pay the comics.
Well,
But,
that's what I do too.
yes,
It's important to pay the comics, right?
exactly.
And you know, we tried to, and Mo would say, Chaundra, look, you know, you might be paying the budget, the comics too much. But my thing is that, you know, I value comedy because I think it's a beautiful art. I think it's, and you and I talk about this all the time. It's an art of the truth, right?
Yeah.
People laugh not because, I mean, funny. When people laugh, it's a connection to the truth. It's agreeing with the truth.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's having an opportunity to make sure that we take care of our own. And so
Absolutely.
as long as my show pays for itself,
Mm-hmm.
I feel
I'm
like
good.
that's
Right.
a
I'm
success.
good. Like
Yeah,
this is.
ain't nobody trying to make $1 million. I want to make sure that the bar gets taken care of, right? So they're good. And my people came from Philly. They came from Philly and drove. They would come every month. And then I had my third sold out show in Philadelphia, Valentine's Day last year. It was phenomenal. I mean, Philly showed out. And when I say they showed out, we packed this place out. It was supposed to be 50 people. We had about 80 people.
Wow.
And we had somebody write a check on the spot for a tech core for $700 just from the first performance. She was like, "Who do I write this check to?" I was like, "See, this is what comedy is supposed to do."
Right.
I felt like Jerry Lewis. I felt like Jerry Lewis at the telethon. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm raising money." So yeah, so that's kind of where we are. Took a break. Became a caregiver for my dad 3 years ago. And he recently passed this year. So in the last about 6 months to 9 months, I had stopped just to focus mainly on him. The BFF Comedy Show was once a month, so it gave me something to do as I took care of him. And then his health deteriorated, and I just stopped. And I just took some time just to kind of get my head together, get back in the game. And that's how I met you. I was just coming out, just visiting and supporting other comics because I believe in that too. I buy tickets,
Absolutely.
I buy T-shirts,
Yep.
I support. Even if I don't go, I'll buy a ticket because here's the thing. We don't have to do this. This is a talent. We do this because this is what we've been given. And we don't ask for a lot, right? People are comics for a long time before they make it or make a lot of money. They're willing to do it for free. They're willing to do it for $25. They're willing to do it for a living, right?
Yeah,
but, you know, right, we pay because we respect it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of time going to a lot of shows because, you know, when you're first starting out in comedy, they're bringer shows, you know, so you have to bring people. And, you know, there's a small knit community on Long Island. If somebody has a show, I'm going to show up. If I'm on the show, I'm going to show up. Or, okay, hey, listen, I can't make it, you know, buy a ticket. But the cool thing about what's going on now is we have these, you know, virtual broadcasts that are going on. So even if you can't physically be there, somebody should at least be going live so that, you know, people can still buy tickets, they can still enjoy the show, and they can still be there. That's what's so beautiful about all of this. And that was something, and I'll say it every show, every In Bed with Comic show, I'm going to bring it up. Right before COVID happened, I said, listen, if you guys can't bring people physically here, have people buy tickets online and watch through a private Facebook watch party, and they can still watch the show. And I've done it at 2 of my shows. I've had at least 10 to 12 people on at a time watching in this private group. They've all bought tickets, and they can see and they can hear the show as if they're right in the room. And it's amazing.
Let me tell you, that is revolutionary. You know why? Because when's the last time and when's the first time you've been able to catch a comedy show at home? If you missed it, you missed it. That was it.
And if I can't show up, it's like I would have loved it, because I could have sat, by the time I got out of work, I could have sat there and watched you guys from home, you know, bought a ticket, watched from home, and still supported, and then still, you know, whatever, talked about it, did whatever, you know. I mean, that's definitely a way. And I would love for producers out there that may be listening to this, take that into consideration. All you got to do is plug up your phone, get yourself a very simple tripod. I have a simple tripod. I hook my phone up. I keep it charging. I do whatever I got to do. And as soon as we're ready to start the show, I go live within a private group. No one can share anything. No one's doing anything crazy. People can comment. There's lots of ways that you could do things.
You have to improvise. You have to improvise. It's interesting you say that because and it's so funny how everything plays out, and we'll delve into more of how I transitioned into using humor at work. But I just recently had booked a show, 2 shows. Was going to be in Bushwick, Brooklyn, at this really nice backyard venue. And the guy was hesitant because he had just opened, I want to say a year ago. And I met him last year and I said, have you thought about doing comedy? Oh, no, I don't like comedy. And I said, okay, I get it. I said, but trust me, I'm not bringing people who are not funny, and I'm not bringing people who are going to make your establishment, shady. It's going to be,
Right.
It's going to be good stuff.
Right.
And he said, well, let me think about it. Then COVID hit. Okay. I saw recently he had a show. I went to the show, and he had a few Netflix folks there. Nice turnout. He had about 40 people. So I said, well, would you consider me to do the comedy now? He said, yeah, definitely. Give me a date. So tonight, September 9th, was supposed to be the show, but he called me 2 weeks ago to say, due to New York State banning comedy, burlesque, whatever, I'm so sorry you can't have the show. Now, in 2 seconds, I was mad. I was mad for 2 seconds, right? And then I said, you know what? I wasn't ready. And I wasn't ready, and I'll say this. All of that it takes to put into a show, because I only had a 2-week lead. I had great comics lined up. I mean, serious, great people lined up. But it was the fact of getting the marketing out, getting people into coming to a Wednesday night after Labor Day, right? Yeah. To Bushwick, which, people are coming from the city or whatever. We're right by the J train, but I hadn't been on the scene in a minute. So that's really me crunching people out. My base is Philly. They would definitely come on a Friday or Wednesday. They're pushing it, right? So I said, you know what, God, you had it worked out. Everything works out. I'm not happy about the banning of comedy. I'm not happy about that we got to do it on a rooftop because we can't do anywhere else because they're banning everything. That I'm not happy about. And I want to thank you and the other comics for taking this charge of fighting this. I didn't even know y'all were doing that. So give me more information because I would love to help, because I do believe that comedy is a lost art, but I do believe that it's being targeted because we're talking about people. We're calling things out, and they don't want that.
They don't want that. They don't.
We are right. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to be talked back to. They want us to be compliant and to go. And it's okay. All right, we'll be compliant, but dang, you don't want us to laugh. I mean, we already got masks on our face. You got to tell us to stay 6 feet from away from each other. I mean, what else?
What else do you want? Like, come on, it's crazy. Well, the only thing that we could do now, we had a second protest. I organized the first one, which was just mainly for for comics to come out and show their support and to raise awareness of the fact that, hey, listen, society, this affects you too, because your entertainment is being taken away from you. You can't go to a bar and do karaoke now. You can't go see a comedy show. You can't go and do lots of things, movie theaters, all of this stuff. It's slowly being taken away from us. What we, Broadway, movie actors, singers, it was for everybody. And then governors had said, well, why don't you guys do it in front of our place? And I was like, okay, like I really don't have a choice. But, and then it spiraled from there where we had, we had a senator come down, we had a legislator come down, the news was there. And then we did it again. And then Anthony Rodia, he spoke about it. But the only thing, I mean, they were on the news, governors, the owner of the club, it's the club owners that have to get out and say, hey, listen, because they're the ones that can join a class action suit and do that. Regular comedians are not gonna, you could, but
well, regular comedians are everyday people and they don't have any backing behind them with just a group of people. But the
businesses
thing is
do, because they spent the money to open up and they did things safely. They spent the money to open up. They were told that they could open up. But comedy was specifically targeted right from the start, because it said, the SLA laws changed overnight. Yes, they did, because, singing was allowed at first, karaoke was allowed. So I was like, all right, I'll just have the comics sing their set. And that's what I did on the last show that I did right before the laws changed again, where the comics came out. I had a ventriloquist, I had a drag queen there. I had, a bunch of other comics. They all sang their sets. They all did whatever they were going to do. They played guitar, they, however they were going to do it. That's, and we pulled it off. It was successful. We pulled it off.
Right.
It said in the SLA laws before that comedy shows are not permissible in any phase. So we're finding ourselves in the same venues, basically. We're finding themselves in the same position as gyms because, the gyms weren't permitted to open in any phase either. So where does that leave them? Where does that, and then they had to sue to be able to get things opened again. So now you have all these bars and venues.
The gym sued, right?
The gym sued. Yes, they did, because you're picking and choosing who's able to make money. And also at the same time, you're doing this, bars need to be able to have a draw for people to come in. It's not just comedy venues that host comedians. It's also these bars and restaurants.
Right. That do it. So what happens is that here's where it gets tricky, because now, the government is giving these businesses money, right? So they're getting the infusion of this money, and they have to be able to keep their people and all this other stuff. So you have these organizations and companies and bars and venues that are taking the money because they need to stay alive, and then they have to turn around and protest. Well, where's my bread and butter? Because it's easy to get that money and be able to take care of people for a couple of months. Well, that money runs out. And so here we are going into the winter season, right? We can't do any more backyards. There's no more rooftops. And who's doing comedy in the snow? Who is doing comedy in the snow?
Here comes the virtual comedy world, baby. It's not going to stop. It's not going to shut down. Nope.
It's not going to shut down. So that requires, us to, and I said this to a couple of friends the other day, I think you and I were talking about it, the blessings of COVID, right? The things that have come out of this are ingenuity, innovation, and change always provides those opportunities. And so this helps us level the playing field. And so now we're not totally dependent on the venues and the club owners and stuff like that. And so it's to their advantage to back us, but if they don't, it's fine, because what happens is what I'm holding in my hand, the screen you're looking in, is the next level, and it offers us an opportunity to be able to monetize at a level that's worldwide, right? So I don't have to wait for the people to come from 72nd Street to go to stay in New York, right? I can have people from Beijing watching me, right? I can have people from Arkansas watching me, right? So, things that seem to be an issue end up being a blessing. It's just all how we utilize it, and also coming together, right? I think that's the other piece, because stand-up can be a very cliquish type of, and people think, oh, comics are nice. Comics are mean. Comics can be very, very mean, right?
Like Dave Wester was cursing me out. Wasn't cursing me out, but, we were like, kind of like going back and forth a little bit, because, you're Sagittarius. You're impulsive and you're this, you're that. I'm like, all right, Dave, like, stop. Like, you're going to discriminate against me because I'm a Sagittarius now?
Yeah, and I love him. Dave is amazing. Yeah, he's amazing. And we get into the signs all the time. He's amazing. I think that if we're going to talk about people coming together, Dave supports almost everybody. Dave is amazing. And he has that thing that brings people together. Look where we were the other night. That was like biblical, right?
It was amazing night. I didn't care it was raining. I didn't care.
We were in the rain. And for 2 hours, and people didn't leave. And then the comics got up there. I didn't expect to get up there. I was just sitting, chilling with y'all. And you said when I came, you performed, and I was like, nope, I'm just coming to support.
I knew you were. I was like, they came with you. Oh, by the way, you're going up tonight.
And I was like, okay, all right. But he has an amazing way of turning things into great things. And so that's what I was alluding to. We have to come together, right? And so whether you're black comic, white comic, woman comic, man comic, gay comic, straight comic, whatever, take the labels off. You're a comic, right? You're funny. And then actually you're a comedian, comic, however you want to label yourself. The fact of the matter is that people are entertained by what you say. And people hear, so I gotta plug my phone in. People hear you, and you're an influencer to an extent. So you have to leverage your influence. And so you might have the technology, and I might have the people. That's why Monica and our show worked so well. Monica knew all the talent. She knew all of you guys. I knew zero. I maybe knew about 10 comics. But the caliber of the comics that Mo knew and knows, because she's not only a great comic, she's a great person. She networks tirelessly, right?
Yeah.
But I had the audience, right? I had the fans, right? So I had the fans, she had the people, and then we came together at a venue, and it worked. But and she's white, and I'm black. She's from Denver, I'm from New York, although she comes to New York a lot. But we have a lot of stark differences, but we put those differences aside, and we're able to put together a show that not only benefited us and our comics, but the community. And so why not do that again? Why can't we do this through COVID? This Comics in Bed is amazing. I know Mo has 7 Minutes with Mo. She does every Tuesday night, I think she does on Instagram, where she talks to all these comics, and they don't talk comedy, they talk life.
Yeah, life.
So we have
that's what this is about.
We have these platforms.
Right,
no No one knew about Zoom, right? Zoom was just for the people who went to work. Now,
no idea.
Zoom is the comic's friend, right? And so it's a matter of what we want to do. How do we do it? And I think this bridges into, what I want to discuss with you about work. Everywhere I went to work, I would say, oh, you have such a beautiful personality. You're so funny. And I realized that we would have team meetings, we would have discussions, and my humor would be used for conflict resolution. And I didn't know it at first. I wasn't paying attention. I just knew that I never got fired, right? It would be like, Chaundra, you're just amazing, or you're late for work, but you're amazing. So we're going to work around that. Or, my work always got done. I have a great work ethic, but, I realized that my humor was what was carrying me through, because I could communicate with folks and use humor as a tool to discuss things that were kind of hard. And in 2016, I worked for an educational consulting company for 4 years. And I woke up one day, Kristen, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to start my own business. And I had just taken the Strengths Finder 2.0, which is kind of like the MBTI. It's like a personality test, and it helps you understand how you work with others. And I realized that strength is something that we tend to not focus on. We always focus on our flaws. When you go on an interview and they say, tell me your strengths and weaknesses. Well, yeah. They ask you that for a reason, not just to ask you that. They want to know who coming to the table. And so I realized when people get to work, when they complain about their coworkers or their boss, they always complain about the flaws. They never complain or talk about their strengths. So I wanted to change the conversation. So I built my business around that particular product, and went into work July 31st, 2016, and told my boss that was it, right? Took out all my savings from my 401k, paid my rent up for a year, and got a little office downtown in Philadelphia, and just started to care of his folks. And my first client was one of my best friends, and I was able to work with his team and help him for a year to build his team and to work through issues that they had and help him write policy. And I was just like, well, if I can do it for him, and all you need is one person to believe in you, all you need is one. And you're thankful for friends who do that. And so my friends would refer me to other folks, and then I was getting other clients. And here I am 4 years later. I currently work in the healthcare industry. And I'm very excited about what's coming up on the table for me being there, because we're going through a transition. But it's been the humor. It has been the humor that has gotten me through, because humor is something that de-escalates.
It's true.
It can take two enemies. People could be in the middle of a fight, and you've had this. You've had a fight with your boyfriend, you had a fight with your girlfriend, and someone says something off the wall, and you don't even want to fight no more. You just want to be like, "Are you serious?" Because that's what it does.
I stopped many times getting my ass kicked when I would say the wrong thing. I would say something funny, and they'd be like, "Yo, I can't beat you up. Like, you're a clown. Like, I can't."
Yes, it's a coping mechanism. It really is a coping mechanism. So, I wanted to find something catchy, and so the humor consultant came to mind. And so at first it was a little touchy, because people thought that I was a consultant for comedians. And in a way, I had become, because, I try to help comedians understand that they are business. You have to conduct yourself as a business. Some people, I just want to tell jokes. No, if you're really going to survive off of this, you have to be a business. So I kind of brought that to the table. But I'm like, no, I'm really not a consultant that's for comics. I am a consultant that's funny. So I didn't want to say the funny consultant. So I wanted to find something that was a little bit more professional and could work with the demographic, because I wanted to work with corporate. And it kind of was catchy. And I love butterflies. So Monarch Butterfly is like our logo, but it's more than that, because, you and I've talked about my spirituality. I feel that Monarch, King, right? God, right? Production. So I'm a child of the King. So I'm a product of the King. And so
you need your own reality show, girl.
Yeah, listen,
my life is a reality show. The super consultant. You need it. I'm telling you, it's coming your way. It's coming down the pipe.
Listen, I'm ready for it, because I'm telling you, the stuff that if I tell you about my day to day, I got cursed out today like somebody didn't even know my name. I got my feelings hurt too. I got my feelings hurt, and I should have had the cameras rolling, because I can't believe someone came out their face and said what they said. So being able to use humor again, and I couldn't use humor in this instance, because the person was so already gone with their anger that I needed to protect my energy. So I was just like, you know what? We're going to leave it there. But, It's like a superpower. It gets me through, and I'm thankful. It's helped in my family. No matter where I go. I had some guy met me last night. He was like, "Don't tell me, you're funny," and I was like, "Really? Wow." I said, "Because I'm really not." We laughed or whatever, but it was funny. It's like people can't pick that up. And I just start talking. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just the way I speak, my mannerisms. But I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the blessing of this gift because, so many of us have great gifts and they're needed now. This is the time. All of these gifts that we have buried inside us are needed. We need
about
to
time people that, have kind of hidden away in the shadows, waiting for an opportunity, can kind of step forward and say, hey, I'm here and I have talent and, I want to show it off. Whereas, some people wouldn't, but now they actually have a chance. When I started In Bed with Comics, I was sitting home by myself. I was like, well, where's the opportunity for me to be able to connect with my comedians and be able to keep up with the comedy community, because it's something that, you go through. I mean, I was out every single night of the week, at every single open mic. I was out Monday nights, Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, and then Friday, Saturday was just going to shows or doing shows or something. And it was just my whole world for a little while. And then I said, well, I miss my comedy family and I want to be able to, talk to them. And In Bed with Comics was actually supposed to be a real live show. But I was like, where am I going to put a bed? But what better time to do it than to do it during a pandemic when everybody's
does it
home?
count? Wait. I'm on a recliner. Let me recline. I'm on a recliner.
Yeah, that works.
Right?
Yeah, not everybody wants to be in their bed.
Well, no, my bed is kind of nice. It's kind of like yours. It has the backdrop like that. But once I get up,
I have my butterflies on the wall. I don't know if you see them.
Do you?
Yes,
I see
they're
them.
right there. Yeah, they're
I
right
see
there.
them.
You see
So,
all these? Yeah.
so now,
all of my. I am a butterfly lover. I love them so much. My walls are covered in butterflies and hearts and yeah. I like to. These are Christmas lights and the bling and the leopard. I'm just a total.
Yeah, no. If I'd have had this conversation in my room, I'm telling you, I would have been ready for bed. So I said, you know what? Because I just walked in from work. Yeah. So I said, you know what? And that was perfect timing. The Long Island Railroad is running good now. What did I take? I took the Long Beach and transferred to the Hempstead line.
Oh, and, where do you live?
I live in Cambria Heights, Queens.
Oh, okay.
No stalkers, please. No stalkers, please.
There won't be any stalkers. There's no stalkers. Oh, wait, actually, John Battle's watching. He might stalk you. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
You got to meet John Battle. There's some good, Long Island comics that you can meet.
Well, I used to work at Hofstra, so Long Island is my other place.
Yeah.
So it's no problem. So yeah, I got in about 7:30. I said, oh, I have just enough time to get ready for Kristen. So
yeah, it's been a long day. School started up, and I'm a school bus driver in my real life, and it's very different from everything. And, there's a lot less kids around, and but I'm enjoying it. And I'm getting it through, and I'm happy to see my coworkers. I'm just happy to
happy to be back to work.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to. I mean, I accomplished a lot because I'm a holistic nutritionist. And I went back to school because I said, well, I was meaning to add to my certificate and be a weight loss consultant, for people that have had bariatric surgery or just for obese people, because I feel that is the one community that's neglected. And when I started going through my studies, I started realizing things about obesity and about being overweight that they don't tell you before you have weight loss surgery, or they don't tell you in general when you are when you are overweight. There's a lot of things that people don't know.
Right.
So that's my mission now. I'm really working very hard to finish up with that certificate. I'm going to be putting together a program where I can help people with this, not necessarily where it's like, oh, you should eat this, or this is how much you should eat, or this is that. Listen, people know that, but there's other ways of reaching people and making people understand the importance of.
Look at that! See, you're giving back to.
I love my people. I'm as outgoing as I am. I'm also very introverted, and I spend a lot of time by myself. And now it's being in comedy brought me out of that shell. How I got into comedy, I was actually dating a homeless guy, unbeknownst to me. But the best thing he ever did for me was bring me down to a little bar called Ziggy's Corner Pub in Massapequa on a Monday night open mic. And I got, after a couple weeks of watching the comics, I, finally got a little push from Stephen Rocco Perlo and Teresa Farrell. And I got up there and I did my set making fun of his homeless ass.
So wait, so you didn't know he was homeless when you met him?
No, he's homeless by choice. No, I know. Listen, when the people say like, "Oh, like why did you?" No, he lied to me about his name. He lied to me about everything about him. Like it was crazy. He had a family. He had his parents that he could have stayed with, but he did so much damage. But he'd rather live on the streets and beg for money. And he was homeless by choice. It wasn't like a crappy circumstance. But he was obviously looking to, he spent a lot of time in my apartment. He always slept over, and he lied to me about his name. He lied to me about his marital status. He had been married before. He had kids. He told me he didn't. It was this whole crazy story, and all the comics around me knew that he was homeless, but nobody told me because they thought I knew. And I'm like, no, I didn't know. Like, why didn't you guys tell me? And then, it went from there. But he was just a crazy person. So.
Well, his whole purpose was to lead you to your purpose. So
absolutely. So thank you so much, homeless guy.
Yeah, well, thank you for helping me find my home. So
exactly. I appreciate him for that. I always appreciate that, because if it had not been for that, I wouldn't have. I grew up watching comedy specials. I grew up listening to Adam Sandler. I grew up listening to Andrew Dice Clay, Eddie Murphy, Patrice O'Neill, all those, good comics that came, just all of them. I mean, there's not one comic that I don't like. I'll never sit there and say, oh, I don't like, I don't like this person,
Right.
I think everybody has their, I don't know.
I have a interesting love affair with comedy because I have my moments, right? And so I like it, and then I don't like it.
John Battle said, LOL, Cambria Heights. She lived right next door. I'm on my way. She better have food.
So do I look like I have a lot of food? Trust me. I got food. Actually, I got
food for a king, because John Battle is the king. Mr. King.
He's the king? Okay. Yeah, well, I have broccoli. I have spinach.
He loves all of that. You know what? We need to go out to dinner. We need to go out to dinner with John Battle, Teresa Farrell. We need to go out to dinner with, just get together.
Yeah, we'll let John treat. We'll let him treat since he's the king.
Yeah, he'll pay for all of it, because he's always eating shrimp and all kinds of good stuff, and clam sauce with sparkles in it the other day.
Okay,
I mean, it was just great. Yeah, I can take all us ladies out.
How you doing, John? Hey, my nails are done. Hey, my hair's done. Hey.
Yeah, and he's very nice. He came on In Bed with Comics, and he said let's do dinner. Yeah, okay, yeah, we're all gonna go out. Like, we're really actually gonna make plans. We'll invite Erin from the other night, also, the girl that was with me.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, I have friends in Long Island, and I have this thing with wineries, and I'm supposed to go every year. Yeah. And did not go for summer, but it's fall now, so it's actually perfect time for the wineries. So yeah. I'm coming out there, and I'm going on vacation in 2 weeks, give or take. But we can, I'm good weekends or whatever.
Definitely.
So I look forward to coming out and hanging with you guys.
Yeah, because there's a cool restaurant in Huntington. It's called The Refuge. It's got a nice vibe. They have an outdoors part. They have an indoors part. They have good drinks. They have good food there. It's just a nice, relaxed, atmosphere or whatever, or wherever, I mean, we're always down to hang out. It's nice to get everybody together, because we used to, Teresa, if we go to the winery, we're not coming back. Like, somebody's going to have to drive.
If we go for the winery, we're doing it all day. Like, we're leaving and we're hanging out there the whole day. So
yeah, we're not going that's not something you can't drive with that.
No, you go out there, you drink. No, you're not trying to come home no time soon. That they serve you so well.
No. I mean, I went to the wineries once, and I like it. I like this, but when you bring a bunch of loud comics in the room, forget about it.
No, well, I don't know. You know what though? They honestly, some of these wineries, they need to have, okay? Yeah. So let's talk about that. I went to Wolfer Estates. Absolutely God's country, Kristen.
It is.
Absolutely, it's on the north. It's on the north. It's north side. North.
Yes.
North shore.
Yes.
I mean, just grapevine. I mean, just acres and acres and acres, and the sky. Oh, it's just takes my heart
Beautiful
away.
out there. Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. But when I went to a couple of wineries, I'm like, you guys are missing comedy. This is perfect. This is perfect. And honestly, it's for a certain type of comic. Honestly, but I think that done right, any comic can do it. Is how it gets sold to the winery.
Exactly.
So that's definitely a draw since people can't go to other places. So put that in your bookmark. We'll work on that too.
I actually wanted to put together like a haunted house comedy show, but like you have to walk through like a haunted house, and then like there's comics in there telling jokes also.
But can you do that now with social distancing? How are we gonna celebrate Halloween this year? What's that about? No trick or treat.
Actually, I saw this thing on Facebook. Teresa, that's a good idea too. We can always barbecue at her house, she said. I saw this thing in the UK. They had these drive-through haunted houses, which I don't know which would be scarier, to actually walk through a haunted house or to be in your car. Halloween will take place this year in some form or fashion. I don't care how it happens. Halloween will go forth however it's going to be. I'm talking, I want to see drive-in horror movie theaters. I want to see drive-through haunted
Yeah, that
houses.
you're gonna see. I'm sure you're gonna see a lot
Someone's doing a drive-through haunted car wash. I'm so down for that. I'm like, are you kidding? Who thought of this, and are you single?
So wait, time out. A car wash is what? All but 5 minutes. So you want a haunted 5-minute car wash?
I would love every minute. Imagine, like, I would love every minute. I was so excited when I saw this. I was like, who thought of this? And please tell me you're freaking single. Because you are like, you just won my whole world. Like, thinking, like, totally out of the box.
But he's not single because his girl probably told him, it be us. It don't be them. I'm trying to tell you. Don't let these guys fool you. These guys talk about, I did this, and it be some side chick done told him something. I'm telling you. Let me tell you how many guys I've dated. I've given them. I'm like, yo, I'm giving this to you for free. I'm giving this for free.
Oh, yeah.
And I see them do it, and I'm thankful that they're taking my advice. But they,
yeah, it's true, guys. Yeah, I definitely get hit up for ideas quite a bit.
And I used to be married, and I know how my ex-husband was. Love him to death. He's a great guy, but trust me, yo, babe, what you think about this? Yo, babe. So if you do it like this, and you fix it like, I didn't even think about that. Okay, thanks. All the time.
Right.
All the time. But yet, I still have to figure out my stuff.
Right. Exactly.
Because I say, what do you think about
this? Where's your brain when I need it?
Yeah, look, so say hi, DJ. Say hi.
Hi, baby. Yes, Teresa, and I just ordered my Roger Rabbit doll. He's on his way.
Roger Rabbit, okay.
Oh, wait till you see my costume. I'm going as a savage Jessica Rabbit. I have the Jessica Rabbit dress. I have the gloves. I have the hair. And I have the fur wrap. And I'm going to take this Roger Rabbit head and I'm going to sew it onto the fur wrap. And I'm going to put blood all over it. And I'm going as a savage Jessica Rabbit.
Are you serious?
I'm
Wait a minute.
Serious.
I just did something and I don't know what I did.
Oh, you're frozen.
Oh, you know why? Wait. You know why? You know why I'm frozen? Because I tried to look at what you did to me on Facebook. I was like, oh my God, I can watch myself. And then it froze.
Yeah, I can actually see everybody's comments on my phone because I'm on my laptop.
No, I didn't want to go get my iPad, and I was just like, I could talk to her here, but then that means I had to freeze. Yeah, let me come back. Now I'm back. Back to you in the studio.
Don't worry. Yeah, so I'm going as a savage Jessica Rabbit because I love it. Hi, kitty. Hi.
That's DJ.
Hi, DJ. Is that the deaf one?
That's the blind one.
That's the blind one. Also, he has no idea.
Yeah, so just to let your people know, I have 3 cats with disabilities, and they're all beautiful. One named Lily, she's deaf. One named Nunu, she is cross-sighted, and then DJ, who's blind in one eye and doesn't meow. So I think he's a mute. I don't know.
I don't care what kind of animal it is. I love animals. I'm sure they're very affectionate and loving and sweet. Like
They are. He got in trouble when I came in because DJ has a habit of greeting me at the door. Sometimes he brings things to me. Sometimes he doesn't. Today, you know what you did.
oh.
You know what you did. You want to tell the people what you did?
I have a cat
You
that's
want to
at
tell
the
the people
barn
what
and
you
she
did?
brings me chipmunks all the time and I'm like, Bandit, stop. Like, leave these chipmunks alone. And I'll be
Oh,
there, she'll just lay this chipmunk at my feet and just look at me like so proud. And I'm like, I'm so appreciative that you love me, but you've killed this poor chipmunk. And
so wait, how long have you been doing comics in bed? How long have you been doing that?
I've been doing In Bed with Comics since April.
That's dope.
Yeah, I've been doing it. I'm trying to get up to 100 episodes. I have a YouTube channel. I'll send a link to you so everyone can like and subscribe the link because that's how you build your channel.
Right.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a little bit. I also have it's on hiatus right now because we can't get into the television studio. But I do have another show called The Fresh Lead with Bariatrics. That's all about health and nutrition, but I'm going to be amping that back up again. And I also have Creative Connections open mic, which is for all creative people to come on and showcase their talents and talk about it and spread creativity and love throughout the creative community. So I actually have
Well,
three.
I think we have one more left to do because we talked about this. You're a Sag and I'm a Taurus. We gotta do one of those type of things
Oh
because
yeah.
those
Oh
are
no,
really
it's
good.
coming. It's coming. I've been
Those
training
are
very
really good.
hard on my tarot card readings.
Uh-oh.
And I will be doing them. I will be doing them live. Eventually. I'm going to be doing a comical one where you can actually how you see on YouTube, you can pick a card.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it like erotic tarot card readings.
Uh-oh.
Where you get to, yeah, I'm getting into it and I'm going to put it on virtually broadcasting together, which they're going to have like a late night section. And yeah, because I figured, you know what, I have the spiritual gift and I'm pretty good at using it, so I might as well just use it to have some fun.
Yeah, I'm a witness. I totally experienced it. I thank you so much.
And as the night went on, I got drunker and drunker, and it was like, yeah.
I was not totally expecting it, but yes, you are amazing, totally amazing. Check out Kristen; she knows what she's doing.
Thank you.
But yeah, I think I think the talents that we all have are something that we need to take. We only have a couple of more months to 2020. I told my sister this is like a gap year. The kids take off and they need time to get their lives together. We got a gap year. Everybody got sent home. People got to see how the kids were. They talked about the school and realized it wasn't just the school, it was the kids. People always talked about, I want to work from home. I want to work from home. Okay, now you're home, right?
Now you're home. Do
paid,
something with
right?
yourself.
Right. You got unemployment for like 6 months. That was crazy. Like you hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we only have 4 more months of this year that, a lot of people said, it's the worst year ever. And yes, people died, and I get it. And our father was one of them. But there's blessings all over this year, and it's not even over yet. Like, not
Right.
even over. And I think that we have one more season. Well, 2 more seasons left. We have fall and winter, right? We have to go for full season. And I think that once we finish winter, which ends what? Next year?
Right.
Sometime January 21st, whatever that ends, whenever winter ends, we'll have completed this whole cycle of COVID. We'll have a new election. We'll have a new president, whoever that may be. And all of that will die down. So we have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, it's about building and regrowing. People want to just get back to the way things were. I don't want to go back to the way things were.
No.
I was so drawn down by like working and trying to fit pieces in and so much. So like, I'll be happy to put 2020 behind me. No problem. This is the 1 year I am, but at the same time, I'm taking the good parts with me because I actually got to accomplish a lot of things.
Yes. Congratulations
with a lot of things that I wanted to do. Yes, and you as well.
Congratulations, because that's what it was for. I mean,
yeah.
Here's the thing. If we don't use, and I'm saying this to anybody watching, who's watching the replay, watching it live, here's the thing. If these people died, don't let their deaths be in vain. Right. Take the time that we were able to have life and come back to our homes and be safe and come out of it better. Yeah. Like, no, nothing's going to go back to the same. I was listening to a commercial and it was like, and I'm paraphrasing, but they were like, how about we move forward? How about we look forward to being forward? You know, how about we continue to live in the moment? This year slowed us down so much that moments. There's a lot of stuff that I used to post on Facebook right away. I would take all these pictures. Last week was the first time I went to a comedy show and didn't do anything but enjoy you guys. Like, seriously, just enjoy the people. We took that one picture, but I didn't do a whole bunch of lives. I just totally just enjoyed the moment. And I've been doing a lot of that because you only get moments. That's it. We only get moments. This moment right here, we've been on the phone for almost an hour, but this moment right here, we're not going to get again. Yes, we recorded it, but the energy from it, we're not going to get again. Right. So, you know, I don't want it to go back to the same. Yes, I want it to change.
Yeah. All right. So In Bed with Comics has $1 million question.
Yes.
Are you ready to answer it?
I'm ready.
Okay. Which comic, famous or non-famous, would you take to bed?
What? Dave Chappelle.
Oh, okay. Dave Chappelle. We finally got Dave Chappelle. So nobody says that. Nobody ever picks that.
What? Oh my God.
I need to get more female comics.
Just the conversation alone. Right. I would everything else is, I hear whatever. He's married. I would do it for the cuddler and the conversation. Conversation.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. I could see you with something like that. Girl, you got big things coming for you. I can tell, I could see it. It's going to happen. And I'm telling you, reality show. There's definitely a producer out there, and I believe I know one. And he actually just connected with one of my spiritual advisors. And she told me that she had a conversation with him. And I was like, oh my God, I know that guy. He put me on a comedy show in Bayside. And I was like, right. I know him. And then she's like, oh my God. So, and he's a producer, so I might have to, but
if this only brought us together, I'm happy because, listen, we've, in the past, week or so, we've had great conversations. Yeah. You got me my t-shirt. We're doing this. You missed last night, but I told you them 17 flights was a lot. So you missed a great show, but you didn't miss the heart attack. I had to be able to listen. My trainer was so proud of me. I told you I work out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Yeah. And I work out from 5 o'clock to 5:30. And I was on time this morning, and he's like, "What's going on with you?" I said, "Dude, I walked 7 flights of stairs." Now, Kristen, I couldn't do that last year. I could barely walk a flight of stairs. Yeah. And I walked the 7 flights. I got to the top. I did that and didn't have to look for breath. Didn't have to look for a breathalyzer or anything. And I said, I've been working out with him since May. So, and then this morning, did 3 planks, 30 seconds each. Good. Now, does my body feel like I got hit by a truck? Of course it does. But my body is alive. So I'm thankful for that. Absolutely. I'm totally thankful for that.
And wait till you see what more you could do, because somebody who started at 525 pounds, when I was living in an apartment building, I used to have to walk up 1 flight of stairs and take a breath. Walk up another flight. Now it's like, you know what? Those 6, 7 flights would be nothing, because like I work out constantly all the time. I take myself to different things. Watch how your body just keeps changing and it keeps getting better. And don't ever be discouraged by it, because weight loss takes time. It takes time for everything to shift. It takes time for the body to change. It takes 3 months to notice changes. People expect it to happen overnight. It does not work that way. There's a lot that I know about.
I'm thankful to be moving, so I'm doing more cardio. Now I haven't worked on my diet, so no matter how much I work out, my diet is totally right.
Seriously. So that's what I do.
No, seriously. So I'm really, I'm happy that I have what I said to my trainer this morning is the discipline and the consistency. And I used to be someone who sleep late. Getting up at 4:45 to prepare 4:30 has been such a great eye opener. It's quiet. I do my meditations in the morning, do my prayers in the morning, and then I work out, and I'm good to go. And so I'm getting there. But I was very proud to do those 7 flights. But that last flight up, it was like some kind of fire escape thing. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you something. Even the skinny tiny girls was like, "Oh my God!" I was like, "Listen, you go first." And if you don't make it, but yeah, so I'm excited about what's to come, and I really thank you for having me on your show. This was awesome. This was totally awesome. But we'll be in touch. We'll probably talk after we hang up from here, but I thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to, yes. Let me just hold on 1 second there. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching and participating in the show. I really appreciate the support and the love. Where can people follow you on social media?
No, they can follow me on social media. I got somebody already. I think his name is Mike Favor. Do you know Mike Favor?
Yes, that's my homeboy. He's coming
I
out
got
to
Mike
dinner
Favor on Facebook.
Yes, he's coming out to dinner with us too. Great comics. Absolutely.
Okay.
You need to meet Mike Favor too.
Okay, so I got Mike Favor already, but you can follow me on Instagram at Monarch, MONARCHB, the letter B, fly, 718 on Instagram, Twitter, and then Chaundra Daniels here on Facebook.
And you can follow me at Chris Nicole Tins Comedy on Instagram, or if you're on my Facebook page or here, make sure you tune in tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I'm going to be having another awesome female comic and producer. Kathy Arnold is coming on tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Facebook Live right here. Going to be a great show. Got lots of cool things to talk to Kathy about. She's been a very big supporter of a lot of comics here on Long Island. It'd be great to hear from her. Good vibes, Paul. What's up, man? Good vibes. Paul's watching too for a second. We're just about to peace out. You guys can watch us on the replay. Thank you so much for watching In Bed with Comics. And remember, Comedian Last Count. If you want a t-shirt, message me and I will hit up Teresa's daughter, Valerie Manzo, at Val's Crafty Creations. She makes all kinds of cool stuff. She just got the matte color, like lavender. She could do logos. She could do lots of stuff, jewels, sparkles everywhere. Valerie Manzo on my Facebook page, or Val's Crafty Creations on Instagram. You can find her, and that's where you would order the shirt from, but definitely message me and let me know. All right, so everybody have a good night. I'm going to check you in 1 second, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, Kristen.
Bye.